10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to Idiot Blog 421. Today we're featuring Domain. But we're not just featuring him, we're going to give him a call. We're going to chat with him. Never had a chat with him before, so this will be how we get to know each other first time here.
Being alone ain't the vision, but I guess I'm gonna deal with it. And now I know what I be doing, gotta go and feel this shit alone. Bag full of crows.
Clarence Greenwood comes to mind when I'm hearing this.
How I find it, they gonna talk, but I guess that's the time you wanna live your
Citizen
life.
Cope is his artist name. This is Domain though.
I guess you probably need someone better.
Production by IOF.
Yeah, I know I'm happy.
Is that a BandLab user? Let's see here.
I can be happy, I know that I'm happy, I know that
It says Tech Rec is the collaborator on here. So, give me a moment to go ahead and double check everything and make sure that everything's working. Share this BandLab link to my live feed, YouTube link. I'll share that probably after the show so nobody can catch it on a rewind, replay kind of thing. Go ahead and go into the control room for YouTube here so I can see the chats. And then just a second here, and we'll give him a call up. Try and say, is the chat working? To try and get the chat working in case it's not.
And now I'm doing better than before I met you. Yeah, I guess that is precious that I'm putting on you, and now I'm happy.
Alright, looks like I've got two out of 3 places are working. In case you're not aware, this show is in simulcast on bandlab.com/idiotblog, youtube.com/idiotburns, and facebook.com/Christopher Burns. Looks like we are available on Facebook. Awesome. First track down. Let's go ahead and give Domain a call. See how that's all working for us. Looks like it's all working. I'll give him a call right here. There it is, ringing. It's working.
Mr. Burns.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Dang, loud and clear. Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
You're live. It's showing me on BandLab. You live right now?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna double your showdown, and I'm through it on my stream. I've been live for a little while.
Yeah, I
making
saw that.
music.
Nice. Yeah, I went to go pick up my guitar. Went to go start making music, and I look at the clock, and I'm like, yeah, I got a half an hour. I can maybe bust some riffs out before I'm like, oh wait, for the blog. The blog's an idiot blog. Idiot blog. You're an idiot. Forgot about you. Forgot about you. Got busy with the kids. It was like
Hey, we all got a life to live, you know.
Yeah, it
it's
was
no
like-
big deal.
It was taco night, and it took longer because we did this thing where we tried to make like taco tostada shells.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's a son
Yeah, how
of
did that go? Did it turn out good?
it's a son of a bitch to try and get your. It turned out fine, but it's a son of a bitch to try and get your kids to eat anything new.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
They have
And
tacos.
then they end up liking it usually anyways.
Yeah, they have tacos all the time, but they, you know, like it was a different format. They're like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, I hear you on that. Man, it's been a long time coming. I've been meaning to speak with you, sir.
Hell
You,
yeah.
sir, you got some crazy vibes going on this thing, and I just want to say that you're like a perfect little host, man. Sometimes I just be trying
Awesome.
to fall asleep, and I see you're on late. You know what I mean? It's perfect
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoy it.
during the witching hour. You know what I'm saying? Late night talk. I like it, dude.
Yeah, it's 2 hours later for you, so it's like, you know, it's like that time of the night, you know, where I could be sitting there just watching TV instead of making my own version of it.
Yeah, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. So, man, when did you get started into music?
Well, really, I mean, I was in like 6th grade, and me and my cousin, and we actually shared like a best friend. You know how everybody be claiming like a best friend and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of worked out. We just wanted to start a band.
Nice.
And long story short, I was supposed to get a bass guitar, right? Like I was going to be the bass player.
Yeah.
And it was like my buddy called shotgun on the drums, you know, like I really wanted to be a drummer.
Right.
And he was just like, I called it already. So I ended up actually buying a guitar on accident. So, I mean, I was young, didn't know shit about music. I bought a guitar, thought it was going to be a bass.
Yeah.
12 years old, got my first guitar, just started playing. And
Started earlier than
you go
me,
through
dude.
them- Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, see, I can't read music. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I can't, like, I can do tabs.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like a free spirit when it comes to music. You know,
You-
I
you-
just really like to just play
So-
and let it direct.
So
you know?
learning guitar, you did tabs, but you knew, like, you know, what an 8th note or a 16th note was and stuff like that, just the basics, right?
No. I mean,
No?
it was literally kind of like all muscle memory. I mean, I took guitar lessons for
Yeah.
maybe like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, starting out with a Guns N' Roses cover, you know, just
Yeah.
to get everybody on sync and shit like that, you know, the basics. And, you know, I know what power chords are. And other than that, it's
Yeah.
literally visual and muscle memory. And you know
Nice.
what I mean? I don't know. It's definitely unorthodox,
Right.
but it works for me. And it's, you know, everybody's different in their own ways.
Yeah.
I kind of feel it feels weird to be, you know, decent at the guitar but not know what the fuck you're doing.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean? And then
right.
all of a sudden you're, you know, everybody's expected, you know, you record music, like your music sounds wonderful. You know, like it's kind of like that cliche that, you know, like to be good at music, like not only do you have to be able to like play the guitar and, you know, shit like that. I see you playing drums, but you're like an engineer, you know what I mean? Like you kind of have that, you know, aspect of your
Yeah.
music. Like, you know, I'm still learning that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know,
It's like a whole nother language.
I'm like you though. I'm self-taught. I just apply myself, reach in different directions. You know, the only thing I had was when I started guitar. Well, and 'cause, heck, I didn't even know that guitar was like. My parents are listening to all this music, you know, 80s rock, 90s rock.
Right.
When I'm a kid growing up, and
Sure.
I didn't know that all those bands were playing the same instrument and it was all pretty much a guitar. I didn't know that.
Right.
Like it took me seeing somebody at age 14 play multiple different bands on one instrument for me to go, oh, what the fuck? All I need to do
Wow.
is learn one instrument, you know. And
Right.
I wasn't even playing. And I didn't start playing until I was 14. And the only background in music and only preparedness I have, you know, a lot of bandmates that I play with, you know, they were in band, so they had practice learning certain parts, trying to remember how to perform them in the group daily, you know, taking care of an instrument, all that stuff. They already had all these,
Yeah.
you know, things. Only
It's like
thing
a
I had,
basic knowledge of it. Yeah.
yeah, right. They had the basic, you know, practical knowledge. All I had was like this very, very base stuff that I got from my elementary music teacher, where they were
Yeah.
like titty titty ta and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, you know.
Like
And
playing the flute back in the day.
right, recorder. That
Or the
was all I
recorder,
had.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Bust
Bust out the cha-cha. Still remember that shit.
Wait, I got a recorder, an Native American recorder right here next to me. I'm gonna play some notes.
Wow, that's wild. He's like, no, don't mind me. I still got that shit.
No, I don't got
That's
any
what's
of it. I forgot it all.
No, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Looks like you got one hell of a setup over there, man. That's like gotta be a dream.
Yeah, that is
Right.
definitely the pipe dream for me. Is like collecting instruments that are usable, collecting,
Right.
you know, the pieces for a recording studio, part by part, day by day. It's just the key is don't sell shit.
Yeah, the key. That is the key.
Yeah.
Don't break shit. Don't sell shit.
Yeah, because you break stuff, you sell stuff, you could be losing it as quick as you get it, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's for sure.
Now, I'm not like a prick about it. Like some people that I played in bands with, they're like, "Don't touch my guitar." They come back from the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're playing an E chord. They're like, "Oh my god, dude, he's out of the band," you know, or whatever.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But then there's those ones people, you know, you let them play your guitar and they're just strumming on it, and you're like, oh shit, is this gonna break right now? Like, you know how
Right.
some people who don't play the guitar, they just
The
I
worst
don't
is
know,
this:
it's
the
wild.
drummer gets on your instrument, and then it's like
Yeah.
15 minutes before you get back to practice because he's sitting there just noodling, and he sucks so bad. He's not any good at all. He's just wasting
Yeah.
15 minutes of your life. You're like,
yeah. That's when the band declares a smoke break. All right,
Yeah,
you fucking
exactly.
sort your personal shit out. We're out of here.
exactly what I was
We'll
going
be
to
back
say.
here in a minute.
Everybody disappears and goes and smokes weed or has their cigarette, and they're like, and then
Goddamn right.
the drummer looks around. And he's like, "Wait, where'd everybody go?" Like, dude, you were looking at the strings so intently. We just lost interest.
Because they do, you know, that look like in their eyes, they're like zoned out. They have to focus so hard. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep, it's not their instrument.
Like
man.
looking down at their fingers, plucking the strings, and like just going back and forth. But yeah, that's crazy.
Their instrument is beating their wife with sticks.
Yeah.
In their mind, beating their significant other or their worst enemy with sticks.
Yes.
You know, that's like
It's a hypothetical strike.
yeah, it's like wild animals, and then you give them a guitar, and they're like, ding, 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 ding. You're like, whoa, man, what the hell?
Yeah.
I wrote that for the band. No, we're not playing that.
Damn, yeah. No, that's definitely a different lifestyle, though. I lived it while I was young. Not really into like the whole band scene anymore,
Yeah.
but you know, it's definitely fun. I mean, you got your memories. You know, I'm sure. Have you played like live shows and shit too? I'm sure you have.
Over
right?
100, over 150 of them. Yeah.
Oh, that's a couple of them, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Tons.
No, that's awesome. It's
Yeah.
definitely fun. And some people, you know, on BandLab, I haven't really met a whole lot of people who have, like, actually, you know, pursued shit like that, like going out and
Right.
playing a show, like sticking with a, you know, group of guys or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, you know, there's this guy I jammed with him one time. You know, he saw me play, and he was real jealous about it. He saw me playing with some dudes, and he was like, "Why can't I play with you?" And I was like, "Dude, you can. Bring your drum kit over." And he brought his
Right.
drum kit over, and we started jamming. Left his drum kit there. You know, we would jam a few times, and then eventually came back for it when he was in a different band. And then I went and hung out with him one day when he was going to do practice with that band, and we ended up practicing afterwards. And then I ended up moving into that house and everything. But that was, you know, we started in high school technically, but then it was like, you know, he took the equipment back, you know, and then and we didn't do anything until, you know, a few months after high school, you know, when I was still, you know, just barely 18, right? We started playing
Right.
together again, and then yeah, and his name is Tim, and we did that from 99, 2000, basically 99 since we started in high school, all the way through until 2016 was the last time we did that together. And we, you know, 2018 we did a couple jam fests, and then we had a day we loaded everything up into his car, and then never really had a chance, never really found a place to jam. We couldn't find a spot. We usually would jam out in the woods if we couldn't. Couldn't find a spot, and we packed it all
How the
up.
fuck
And then,
does that work? Okay, extension cords?
yeah, we just did a generator off of the car, you know, like a little
Oh my god, that is
Inverter?
fucking. If I could high five you right now, that is fucking dedication right there.
Yeah, we did
That'd probably be awesome.
We did
dude.
these things called punks in the woods, and we would go out to this lake called Lost Lake in the pass, halfway
Holy
between
shit.
Eastern and Western Washington, and we'd be promoting it for like 2 months. You know, hey, in August we're gonna go to this place. Here's the blah blah blah, the address. We'd go out there Thursday, camp the night. Friday would come. We'd take 2 vans and point them towards each other and have like wood on top of cinder blocks as like a 1 foot higher stage. helps from
Right.
keeping people that are like moshing from falling into you as easily. You can
Yeah,
kind of
no
scoop.
shit.
You can kind of scoop back as they fall onto the front of the stage and then get back to it. And,
It
and,
happens.
yeah, and so we got like 2 vans pointing, and we just play out in the woods. You know, with drum kit,
God, that'd be
two
epic.
2 guitar amps, a bass, and a PA. Run the bass and the PA together, and run the guitar amps on a different car, and yeah, it was a blast.
Dude, that sounds fucking awesome, especially to like build it up and promote it for a couple months and actually get some people out there and fucking party and play. That seems like a fucking dream come true.
Yeah, one time some people came later, and I remember these people because later I ended up getting married to this girl that I'm married to now, and her sister
Yeah.
comes over, and we're talking about the Punks in the Woods, and she's like, "Oh, I went to one of those," and I was like, "I remember
Oh,
you.
no shit.
You were pissed that you couldn't get your car out when someone parked behind you. I remember you. You made a huge."
I remember you.
Yeah, you made a huge
Damn,
stink.
small world. That's
So it was
crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it was lots
In
of
the
people
woods,
went.
That's a fucking bucket list item right there.
Yeah,
That
punks.
is awesome.
PUNX in the woods. Punks in the woods. It was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking right. That actually would have been a good idea to do like a little music video, you know, like low production, just put something on like
Yeah.
that out in the middle of nowhere.
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about doing it again. At least just a bunch of live footage of it, you know, and doing it again and get some live footage.
I wish BandLab would be comfortable enough to have an event like that. I know they were going to do like a concert sometime.
Yeah, that would be
I think
cool.
it was in like New York.
That would be cool.
I really think it'd be like, I don't want to drop Woodstock, but you know, like something like that for
Dude,
BandLab.
they need to do something where they go one time. They go in the. They did Track Atlanta, but they need to go one event in New York, one event in L.A., one event in Seattle, and one event in the Midwest. I don't know, maybe Detroit, or maybe not Detroit, but you know, something that's kind of. I don't know. They should do 4 different events in the U.S.
Yeah.
and announce them like a good year ahead. Anybody who is in BandLab gets like a discount. You know, like have like tier system or something. You know, where it's like the
Yeah.
longer you've been on BandLab, the cheaper it is for you to come and shit like that. You know. I don't know. That's just
For
my
sure,
thought.
and because I feel like they could totally do it. And I mean, I feel like, you know, personally, like out of all the applications, this one has really been, I mean, the greatest thing to me.
Yeah,
I
they,
mean,
like
you know what
locally,
I mean?
there's like a brewing a bar that brews their own beer, and you go there, and they're right off the Burke Gilman Trail, which is like a biking trail, in between Seattle and the area where most people have their homes in the residential east side of the lake, and they have
Right.
this bar. It's kind of on the top of the lake as you come around. So let's say you're getting off at 5, and at 6 o'clock this place is already hopping, and it's hopping till midnight. And let's say
Right.
you're a drummer, and you're riding your bike by. You lock your bike up, or you hang it on one of the spots, and you know, lock it up, and then you can pull a ticket, and you get to go on. What instrument do you play? They have them all set up. They got like a couple guitars. They got spare strings galore. They got drumsticks,
Wow.
a drum set. And you just go in there, you just show up, and it's like an open mic for any position in the band. And you
Oh
just
my
pull a
God.
ticket, and you just do jams. What songs do you know? We all know this. They try and figure out a couple songs. What song do you know? And they have like a bass group, right? So let's say you're the they got like a drummer, a bassist, a guitarist, right? But let's say you're a drummer. Okay, the drummer will sit out. What song do you know? I know this one. Let's jam it, and you play the drums. And they know like
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
they know thousands of songs. We could do that with BandLab.
Oh, fuck yeah.
A BandLab version.
Hell
of
yeah.
that. Yeah. Everybody goes
Yeah,
in.
there's a lot of talent on here. Like,
Right.
I'm waiting for somebody to literally, like, make it big and pay homage to BandLab, because I do know a lot of people who are really passionate and really good at this music. You
Let
know
it
what
be
I mean?
me. Let it be me. Let it be me.
Let it be- Fuck yeah, might as well be somebody.
Yeah. There's tons of people I can think who would be cool if it happened to them.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. Right
But
now,
I don't know.
work is crazy with me right now. It's I'm working at Boeing, and Boeing's just had
no shit.
tons of layoffs, you know, like because of the COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
first it was the layoffs were coming because, you know, they were going to not do any layoffs with the grounding of that plane and just patiently wait. But COVID caused a drop in the sales of all the other planes, a drop in everything, because
Right.
people were like, well, we can't buy planes until our business pops back up in the airlines industry. And that's a third of the business. Now, there's another third of the business that's doing just fine. That's the warranties. For every plane they're flying, they got to keep them up. In every plane they're not flying, they got to keep them up, regardless. The maintenance exists no matter what. And then,
Sure.
so that's not really suffering. That's a third of the business. And another third of the business is warplanes and stuff like that. So that's
And
not suffering.
Not going nowhere.
Yeah, they're
not going nowhere.
they're fucking working overtime right now. So
Yeah,
everybody's
they got
like,
that money.
everybody locally on the TV and the radio is like, Boeing is having such a hard time. And what they've been saying lately is like, because they moved the manufacturing of the 787, which is the plastic plane, the composite plane, the new age plane. So if you ever go up in a plane, they equalize the pressure to 15,000, the equivalent of being at 15,000 feet, which is like, you know, going over a mountain. So your ears pop when you go on the plane and all that. These plastic planes, they're much more pressure capable, so they pressurize those to 5,000. So it's like you don't even feel like you're going up anywhere. It just it just feels like you're in Denver, you know? And
Yeah.
boom, and it doesn't even bug your ears. Your ears don't usually pop. There's almost no sickness, you know, airplane sickness or jet lag from it. So those sell really well. Those manufacturing of those has kind of dwindled down a little bit, and so they're moving it to North Carolina. So everyone's really panicking. Oh, they're moving the planes. They did layoffs. Boeing's going out of business. The stock isn't doing that good. But really what's going on is people don't realize that what's going on is the 787's moving to make room in the factory for the new plane. Because we don't make new planes in North Carolina. When we invent something new, we do that right here at home in Everett. Right here in Washington, where the Boeing company is really based when it comes to the number of people that work for it. Half the people work here in Washington State. That's why they're moving it, because, yeah, it's like 33,000 people work here in Washington State of like 60,000 employees. So
Damn, that's wild.
So what they're really doing is they're just getting ready to start a new plane, a plane that's in between the 737 and the 777. One's a small plane, one's a big plane. They're trying to do a mid-sized plane to compete with the competition. That's all they're trying to do. And so everyone's panicking, but lest not we panic and we get a new plane and then there's even more sales. Cool it. Cool it. And then, you know, the panic creates the prices on the stock market are based on whispers and legends and folklore. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. Just a bunch of fables worth millions of dollars, billions.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep. So yeah, everyone's panicking, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be something's coming down the pike. I have a feeling. So.
Yeah. Well, it's America. Buckle up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we don't even know.
We never know what the ride's. It's like
we pay for it, but we don't know. We just.
Yeah, it's like riding in the
about it, that's
orchards.
all.
It's like riding in the orchards with your uncle who drives too fast. Just hold on.
Yeah. Fucking yeah.
It's gonna be a memorable ride. When you're here. So.
Fuck yeah. And I was gonna tell you that earlier. I did the scroll challenge. I was like, I went on your page and I wanted to see like, when did you start BandLab? You know, do a little research, and
Good luck.
I started scrolling, and I eventually gave up. You're just like me, just so much music out there that nobody could ever fucking listen to it all. God bless them. if they have,
No way, man. No one can, dude.
Yeah, that's beautiful though.
I think it's a
Because,
solid,
someday.
like, 2 weeks of listening without even stopping. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Good luck.
That's really cool to me because, really, partially, being on BandLab, it's like, for me, I don't take it as serious as I should. It's like a big, like, drawing board, but, that is a huge footprint you're leaving, someday.
Yep.
You fucking you get put to grass, and all of a sudden you got all this music, and it's just a piece of you that will never leave.
And I've never released something that isn't forkable.
Wow, yeah. So could you imagine?
And it's
Like, could you imagine in fucking 30 years if people get so bored with everything that they just start going backwards, and then somebody finds you out, and then you
Right.
could be a fucking dead celebrity? You never know. I mean,
Right.
shit, anything can happen with technology these days. But yeah,
That's one of my dreams
that's
right
a hell
there.
Of a footprint.
It's to be
Yeah,
it's to
same
be
here.
that cult favorite that, like, after I'm gone, or even just after my heyday or whatever, somebody's
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, all this music I make is really based off this guy, and maybe he gets famous, but not me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
That's all
Even
good.
after that, even after you're good and gone, and they hear your music and they're like, "Yeah, this is my fucking boy." Like, and you know, people might like that. That might be popular
Right.
to like things that aren't the norm.
It's like-
shit like that, or relevant, you know, per se.
Like Nirvana, they did a bunch of Meat Puppets covers.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows who the Meat Puppets are, really, still to this day. But they've heard their songs, nothing on top, but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that line.
Right.
And that's Meat Puppets. And they didn't make it. They never made it. They just had one guy do a cover of that song, and boom, everybody in the world knows that song.
Yeah, that's no shit.
I'm on a
I mean-
plane.
I forget what other songs are like that too. Like, and I've been surprised, you know, in other genres even. You know,
Yep.
like, oh, you know, they didn't write that song, right? And it's just like, oh, damn, I didn't
Right.
know that actually.
Right. Yep.
But
Yeah, there's one of those songs. Excuse me. There's one of those songs. I heard it for 15 years, and then someone told me, "Oh, that's actually a David Bowie song." No, it was a Nirvana song. I was like, "What? I thought Kurt Cobain wrote that. What the fuck?" So
right,
yeah,
I've been betrayed.
I went and listened to the Bowie version. And it was like so slow. It was almost unlistenable. But you're like, whoa, somebody had the idea to like just soup it up in speed, and boom, it became a huge song.
Right, and that's just, music is a fickle bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep. Yeah, how long you been doing it? BandLab.
With BandLab, I've been on here since 2017.
2017. Earlier than me. I
Yes,
started in May 2018. Yeah.
I think I was December of 2017, so
Okay.
I guess you could almost say 2016, but 2017. And I mean, I've lived a kind of like I'm a very abstract musician on here, you know, because my
Yeah.
first true love is really metal, you know what I mean? And I've explored, you know, I've done songs with autotune. You've heard some of my music. I sing, and I don't know why, but I've always wanted to be a singer, you know, and it takes
Yeah.
practice, and I kind of have a unique voice, and I'm trying to do what I can with it, but it's just like, I know for a fact, like, the guitar, like, I found my place with that. I know where I stand, and I know what I can do, and that will happen someday, but it's the singing that and stuff like that that really gets me, and it's more of a challenge. I have more to get out of it at the moment,
Yeah.
so that's where I, like, the last, like, couple years, you know what I mean, I've been
Right. Singing,
putting out more, like, singing shit.
it requires like a certain like level of restraint, because like if you just go at it like you do with the drums or the bass or the guitar, it'll be like too harsh. You know, it'll be like
Right.
it'll sound like too forced, if you will. You almost have
Right.
to sing it like in that bedroom. Not like you got your car stereo cranked and you're trying to with the stereo. You have to like take it down. You almost have to take the headphone volume down so you can hear yourself and be kind of natural. But when you do that, you get a much better end result. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think a lot of people that are musicians before they were singers try to perform their vocals like they do their instrument, like, you know.
Yeah, I think
And-
that's like a mistake that bleeds through being a guitar player.
Right.
An unorthodox one at that, but that's a really good piece of information right there, because,
Yeah.
you know, even hearing you say that, I just think that, you know, it's like, I think they call it gain staging, if I'm
Yeah.
saying that correctly.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, more of like a comfortable tone, but then being able to like mix it and bring it out instead
Right.
of like
Right.
pushing it, you know. Yeah.
Right. And then there's also
I
the
feel you
whole
on that.
there's that whole thing where when you're singing a song, like when you're talking to somebody and you're especially across a room or in a loud situation or just to try to communicate properly, you push all the vocal sounds. You push the K's, the T's, you got to speak precisely so that the people can understand what you are saying. And you talk like that, and somebody can actually hear what you're saying from across the room. But when you sing, you have to like almost turn off all of those pronunciation sounds and just kind of almost talk like this, like you almost like move your lips so they don't touch, and people don't even realize that, like you almost have to, like, it's almost like a robotic thing where you turn off like the I don't do it every time. I forget all the time. I'll be almost done recording a song on vocals and I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot to do that. Damn it. Well, okay, I'll keep this version and I'll do a different version some other time, because you gotta almost like not make the T sounds, not make the and when you do that, you actually get a more listenable version of it. More singing happens and stuff. You gotta be natural. You gotta be open-hearted and open-minded and open with your creativity so that all that stuff comes through. But while you're doing that, you have to remember to not belt out and to not like over pronunciate, you know, kind of keep everything soft, if you will. All the sounds got to be kind of soft. Even in metal this is true. Now of course, when it comes to like the stuff like growls and gutturals, then you got
that's a different kind of human.
It's a totally different kind of singing too, and it's loud, and you have to, and it's almost better into a dynamic mic of some sort. Trying to do that into an omni mic, good luck, you know.
Yeah.
So
fuck yeah.
But yeah, singing, it's definitely totally, you could know every instrument like the back of your hand, and singing could still be difficult even if you had a good voice. It's just difficult to capture, you know.
Yeah, it's a whole different mindset, a whole different beast, really, and that's I guess why I've been trapped there, you know what I mean? Because I do want to make more guitar, and I feel like I'm better at guitar than I am singing, but that's why I focus on the singing. That's why, you know, I get on, you know what I mean? But it's all fun.
Hey, were you in the Great BandLab Jam?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I seen you in there too, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, of course you'd be in there. I was just a little mad because they're like, yeah, we selected your revision, and I feel like my part on that was so fucking beautiful and random, and my guitar was tuned so low that it should not have meshed. Your guitar, do you remember what it was tuned in that you made your
standard?
Standard.
E standard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was drop A on that, and I couldn't even.
Well, it was an A minor.
You know what I mean?
So you could play an E minor.
Yeah. So I mean, I fucking like did that, and they're like, "Hey, like we're letting you know that we picked you. Don't tell anybody. We're still like hashing it out. They're like, send us the stems." And my dumbass, I just fucking recorded it right on top of it, and I should have never done that.
Yeah.
That was my mistake, and that's why you couldn't really hear my part on there, but I was happy they threw me in there because I thought what I did was pretty decent anyways. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, honestly.
You know, they never let me know they picked me. They just showed up on there.
It's probably because I'm the fucking delinquent who fucking put the only guy on there that put it. Like, I had it just one WAV file. I didn't think I was gonna get picked, honestly.
How did Jordy get on there? That said no singing. It said instruments only.
Yeah, I know. They must have fucking. I don't know. He's rare. I think he's verified, and maybe he's got good respect for. I liked what he did.
I liked it too. It
wasn't bad, but
I think
it took balls. I think
they said this. They said they didn't get as many submissions as they thought they were gonna get. And so they hopped on it.
I kind of feel like BandLab's more of a hip hop place, and I wish there was more metal. I guess that's I could use that as an excuse if we're talking about it.
I mean,
I've gotten more followers and shit out of that, but
when we started though, when me and you started back 2018, 2017, it wasn't as hip hop as it's become.
No, it wasn't. It was literally like the people that were playing piano and people that were actually like down with it. Now it's like it blew up and they got all this following. Well, I think they kind of had to promote that aspect of it for the masses. I think that's more popular these days. But
I think, and not to say that people that do hip hop are not musicians. They're definitely musicians.
No.
But it was primarily in the beginning. It was like more people who just were musicians and some rappers as well. But then
Yeah.
then some of these places where the rappers were using to make music kind of disappeared. It's not Rap Chat, it's the other one. Or maybe it is Rap Chat. There's one of these.
I think it was Battle Me. I think it was Battle Me or something.
That a couple
Something
of them
crazy like that.
a couple of them went down. You know, they went out of business. And
I'm sure
they
getting all
hopped
that
on this
rap shit in there. Could you imagine all that vulgar
Ali
stuff
Hoopa.
being said?
Ali Hoopa had a lot of rappers, and
Yeah.
they went down, and things kind of took a shift. And then, you know, culturally, I think, you know, the word has kind of spread. You know that there's a bunch of beats there, and if you only have a phone, you can actually get a decent sound on BandLab, and people, you know, people go, oh shit,
You really can.
yeah, oh shit, you know.
If you know what you're doing, they gave you the tools. It's just, you know.
Yep. And there's some great beat makers on here. So there's tons of forkable free beats. So, you know.
But that's why, you know, when they did that Great BandLab Jam,
Yeah.
the inner metalhead inside of me was like, fucking finally. And I click on it, and then I hear the backing track, and I'm like,
yeah.
God, to be
Why'd you-
fucking kidding me.
Yeah. Like, why didn't you pick something a little bit more like one of your
You know,
metal tunes, you know, that you bought, you know, or something?
They have a couple decent, you know,
Yeah.
like metal shit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, you know, the metal culture on here isn't what I thought it would be. I mean, you have to find it, and if you know people, you know,
Yeah.
like I know a couple guys that you've had on here, you know, they got great music,
Yep.
and shit like that, and you know, it's like they're there, but you got to find them. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And it's just like, I wish there was more of it. I wish they would do like a metal fucking band lab almost.
You know, and I think
It's just
I
metal.
think a big part of it is, you know, with metalheads and guitar players in general, you can only get so much satisfaction out of just recording. With rap,
Yeah.
you can get a ton of satisfaction out of your recording, just recording. Because you can go bump your beat in your car when you go buy some weed or whatever the fuck you do in the middle of the day. And the next night when you get home and it's quiet in the house, you can record 3 or 4 freestyles. You can record 10 freestyles and publish 2 of them, you know? Right? And then you start building and you have like, you know, 5 mixtapes and 5 albums, and you put your shit on Spotify, and it can be really fulfilling because you came from nothing. You didn't even have to learn an instrument. You just did what you were always doing in your car to rap music, but freestyle it. So there's it makes it really easy for this app to be all you need. But when you're a guitar player and you write like a whole album of songs, the next thing for you isn't just having one guy come and sing on one of your songs. The next thing for you is to like get a drummer and a bassist that can jam those tracks. You know, you want to go.
guess.
You want to go. You get that hankering though. I know I do. I get that hankering. I don't even care if I play a show or if I have a bunch of people come out to a show and I play a show or whatever. I actually just want to get in a room, take this one song, and every week practice like these 5 songs like 3 times each, maybe 10 songs 2 times each, right? For like 2 to 4 hours and once a week do this. And then by the end of maybe 2 times a week at the most. And by the end of like a few months, we play one of those or 2 of those songs so perfect that my mind is blown while I'm in the room there. I'm just like, oh my God, better than almost any live concert I've ever been to. Just sitting there with the dudes that you know playing your own tunes.
Yeah.
And that's another level for the guitarists are trying to get to. And so it's hard to be like, okay, I got everything I needed on an app. Plus, if they've done that before, they're a guitarist and they've done that before in bands or played a solo in front of a bunch of people and people were like, whoa! Even if it was just one time when they were 25, it's pretty hard for them to be like, BandLab is all I need, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a level.
I feel you on that.
It's filling your meter up to a different level, you know? So that's what I think why the draw isn't huge. You know, I try and tell my buddy about it, a couple of my buddies that I've been in bands with, and they don't come on. And it's not something I'm upset about, but I just think to myself, what the fuck? And then when I get thinking about it longer and longer, I go, you know, it's probably because for them to record their drums, it's like 3 hours of setting up and super technical, and it never sounds as good as it does when they just play in their room. And then they try and record it, and just it's never as good as it just. They're really good at just playing in bands. You know, recording is hard. Not every guy that plays guitar, bass, and drums is technical at recording. It takes certain people that have a mix.
You're talking to them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I tell people, you know, and I hate to sound conceiting when I say this, but I'm like, I'm sorry that fucking being able to play the guitar ain't enough. Said I need a team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, back in the day when we were recording, like, we had our nerd who knew the fucking, had the little interface and shit, and, you know what I mean?
Right.
He knew how to fucking, you know, create buses and fucking do all that shit, and it was just like, making the music is hard enough, and, you know, that's why I commend people like you. Your music sounds good. I listen to it, and it's not shit that you can nitpick, really. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it literally allows you, it's so good that it allows you to, you know, indulge into your creativity. Your, you know, it's like, indulging into it is more like, you know, if it doesn't, like, if there's, like, you know, you listen to some of my metal tracks, like, half of it's just jamming and shit, right? But it's like, it's okay, it's enough to get the idea across, but it's not, like, great, you know? So people listen to it and be like, like, it's good, but it's not mixed well. But, like, listening to your shit is like, damn, like, you can throw the nitpicking aside, like, let's listen to this, and where are you going with this? And, like, you know, some of the different drops that you do is pretty amazing, to be honest. Like, you should be really proud of yourself, because, I mean, it doesn't, not that you couldn't, like, you know, make it, like, mainstream and shit, but, like, it's that you can definitely feel the passion in it, because you don't just make that much music by habit, you know what I mean? It's like something drives you, you know what I mean, to make
I think of it like
crazy music.
I used to sit in front of a mirror and make faces, and then I started making sounds and weird faces and sounds and all these kinds of bizarre things as a kid, right? And what it was is like building Legos, building things out of Legos, building things that didn't exist before out of Legos, Connects, Capsella, building things, right? Now, I get all of that creative juice and that desire to create and make something out by just playing an instrument. And if I can record it, then it's like having something I built out of Legos that I never have to break down, and then I still have all the pieces. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? I get to keep it forever.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I get to keep it forever. It's always there, and all the pieces for making another whatever are still there. It's like making a funny face in the mirror, and then in every single nuance of every funny face I made was captured. You can't hold a camera and sit there and make every funny face and then try and capture them all. But if you make all the funny faces on your guitar, literally you make funny faces when you play guitar, oddly enough. But,
yeah, no, the guitar face is real.
But you know, you do that and you get something you're left with. Like something that, and BandLab gave me a new desire, because I had gotten to a point where I kind of tired out, and I was recording less and less and less, and I got this kind of drive randomly. I was doing a lot of live videos where I would just play drum beats and on behind me, and I would play guitar live on like Facebook, and that's what I was doing when I came across BandLab. I had recorded some of those and looked back on a few of them and gone, ooh, these few that I did need to be made into real songs. So I had, like, you know, 3 or 4 songs, and I did these killer songs, and I put them on BandLab to try and master them, and I didn't know you had to go to a computer and do it. So I was like, I don't understand how you master them or whatever. Well, whatever, they're already up. I'll leave them up there. Like, it's kind of like SoundCloud. And in that next couple weeks, I'm looking on there, and I'm getting these comments. Oh, this is awesome. This is great. I'm like, what the fuck? I never even got a comment on any of my songs on SoundCloud. What the hell? So it lit a fire under my ass, and it was like, you know, somebody forked one of my songs and like sang to it, and I was like, oh shit, this guy actually sounds good.
Wow.
And I was like, it was like a reason to make these maps or music or whatever you want to call them, these maps of notes or whatever they are. They're just like they're like a note in the notebook of like a journal. You know, they're like a musical journal, and it gave me a reason to do that and not worry if it was shitty, and then no one really uses it. And if it's good, people will listen to it a whole bunch of times. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. I was getting way more feedback than ever before, and it gave me kind of like a drive to do it. And it's become definitely like a journal, like a daily thing, you know? So.
Well, and that's one thing that, like, when I was looking at your page, like, when I was scrolling down, the one thing that I was looking at is because I feel like being on BandLab since 2017,
Yeah.
I've always tried to, like learn the algorithm, like to try and like further my success, you know what I mean, like
Right.
what's hidden, what's not. And I was looking at, like, you know, your likes and your plays, like, as I was scrolling down, and it's pretty consistent. I mean, and I was gonna ask because I couldn't scroll to the bottom of it. It took me a long time. when do you remember the time when you were like, when it hit you, like, man, like, what was the track that you were like, holy shit, I got this many likes? Like, did you have one of them moments where it was
Well,
like,
I actually kind of did. So when my son was born in 2012, he would sleep.
Okay.
He would sleep like, he had these 3-hour shifts. He'd sleep for 2 hours. He'd be up for 15 minutes. Then he'd want a bottle, and I'd feed him for.
he was just trying to party. He wasn't trying to sleep. That's what it was.
Right. Well, he'd sleep for like 2 hours. He'd be up for 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'd feed him for 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'd hold him for another 20 minutes. Then I'd put him down to sleep for 2 more hours on his own. And when that cycle was going, I'd go, okay, what am I going to do in these 2 hours? I'm at home. My girlfriend's going to work, and she's gone. No one's here. What am I going to do in these 2-hour chunks of time? So I started going over to my old 2004 Macintosh G5, and I started taking these. So, okay, and the second part of the story is when I'm at work. When I was at work before this, I wanted to make music while I was at work. I wanted to keep writing, so I've got this app called Chordbot for the iPhone, and it lets you program chords and choose different arpeggiations through the chords, or just drums or whatever. It had, like, 15 different instruments, and in every instrument it had like somewhere between 10 to 20 different ways it would play. The acoustic, it could do like a little finger pick thing, a different one. There was like 7 different options. The piano was a or and had these different options. So I would pick things and mix them around and make these tunes. Well, it could output MIDI of your songs that you made. So
Right.
he was asleep. I was like, okay, I'll output those as MIDI and trying to make them into electronic songs. And I did that. They're called advanced beats. You could find them. And so when I was first on here, I did like 5 of these killer songs. And while I was in the middle of doing that, I decided I'll share those on here as well. One of those songs, all of a sudden, it wasn't getting any more likes than any of the other songs, but it was getting played. It was like, I went back to it and it had 100 plays. Went back to it like a week later, it had 200 plays. It was like getting 100 plays a week, and it's been doing that ever since I put it on. It hasn't stopped. It just keeps going.
Still going?
Still going. It's at like 10 or 12,000 plays, right? It's
Jesus.
like, and I thought to myself, either there's somebody who likes the song, or BandLab likes the song and likes my music. One of the two, or got on some list that's private and they just keep replaying this list. Who knows? Maybe it's the owner. I don't know. What is it? Who's playing this song? I had no idea. But I was like, dude, that's so cool. This is so awesome. And that was one of those things that made me go, maybe somebody likes me in BandLab. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. But, I found this. I've gotten picked like crazy for, the plus symbol. You can go through and you can browse, and some of them are other people's songs, some of them are BandLab songs, and you can fork them.
Yeah.
I started getting picked for that. And that really...
I think it was like the Metal Essentials, I think they would call it. Right?
Yeah, Metal Essentials. It's still there.
Yeah.
And I still get picked. Something gets picked like once a month. Sometimes it'll be something from half a year ago. Sometimes it'll be something from this last week. And I still get picked. And I still get, every once in a while, get on it's like every other week I get on trending. But it didn't matter because there wasn't a trending back then. It wasn't called trending. It was just like these different genres, right?
Right.
So I didn't think anything about it. I would just randomly get picked, but I would get picked into the Metal Essentials with my music, or in the jam tracks. And people would start forking it more, and people would see it, and that really,
or even the collections that they have too.
right?
You know,
That's what I
like-
mean. The collections, yeah, the trending ones, or the rock and roll supper,
or even the top 40 too. Even
Right.
you know how they do like the little billboard shit they do.
So that kept me going. In the first year, it kind of got me loving the app. Plus the communication and the different kinds of music and all the different musicians on here, forking other people's work, having a bunch of stuff to play the drums to, that kind of stuff. That's what kept me going. And then I guess they only were on, they weren't on iOS. They were on Android when the contest started. They were only on Android or the computer, and I was never going on the computer to go on BandLab. I was just going on my iPhone. That's where I record all my music. I record everything on an iPhone, right? So, so then I got to this point where I saw the contests, and I entered one of them, and I didn't even know that I won it because I didn't see it in my email for till a whole week later. I won a contest just soloing over one of their backing tracks.
Wow.
It wasn't even in the top 10 on list of the contest. So I didn't even think there was a chance I was going to win. And I won just for some random solo, right? And I was like, oh shit, how awesome is that? And that's what that's what got me promoting on here. Got me spamming people. I kind of stopped doing it a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago. I kept doing it, and all last year I did it. I probably shared the hell out of 1 million of these tracks. Well, maybe not 1 million. Probably picked 15 tracks or 20 tracks per year that I would share the hell out of. And even last year I did it all last year. I didn't win a single contest. The year before that I won 9 contests.
Wow.
And I had a check mark at one point from one of those contests, and I called BandLab a bunch of assholes, and they took it away.
Oh wait, are you talking about your verified?
Yeah, I was verified from a contest.
Yeah,
Then
they won't verify me. I'm
gonna apply again. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beat.
I think you deserve
my
it.
wife just chipped in. Beat 73EX has 11.2 thousand plays since May 2018, the month the month that I started. Yeah, and I have never
God,
promoted
that's-
it or shared it a single time to anybody. So somebody's doing that. I've never ever shared it or promoted it.
That's wonderful, man. Congratulations. And that must feel awesome because, like
Hell
I
yeah.
said, man, your music is good. Like, just looking at your setup, like, you could literally make any genre of music
There's sometimes I do.
with what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Are you familiar with the fact that I make beats and soft music as well as metal?
I haven't been able to even scratch the surface
Okay.
upon what you've been able to do.
Well, when we're done, I'll send you a link to something that's more, because I'm listening to your music while we're doing this right now. Like that song "That's Wild" is on right now, and
Oh, for sure.
a lot of your songs they remind me of this artist. You might know him, named Citizen Cope. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
His name is actually Clarence Greenwood, and he has that song, "Let the drummer kick, boy. Let the drummer kick, yeah." I don't know if you know that, but he's like soft rock, kind of guitar parts meets urban beats meets like the Josh Johnson kind of style singing.
Mm-hmm.
So you put those
And
two
I mean,
together.
singing is different, you know, and like we talked about earlier, like the whole mixing thing, like that's a whole different beast, and that's something that I'm trying to get better at. It all has to do with equipment, but you know, I really do like to sing like that, and I know it's kind of like an acquired taste, but it's the type of shit I feel, and you know, I don't feel like it's completely, you know, horrible, but yeah, I mean, I always like to hear what people think of it, or, you know, if they can draw me to somewhere like, oh, you sound like this, then I indulge into that person.
Yeah, you'd
And,
like
you
his
know,
stuff.
Being on here is literally like, a lot of people take that stuff, you know, personal. To
You
me,
know Whitey
it's like
Ford?
a never-ending game.
Do you know Whitey
Who?
Ford? Whitey Ford, he's like
Uh-uh.
that. You know, he has that song, "Might know what it's like to sing the blues." You ever heard that
I
one?
don't think I've heard that. No, I don't think. I mean, maybe I've heard it. I probably like actually heard the song, but you know.
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
the guy goes like, he's kind of talking about like, you know, different people having different struggles, and he's an old, he was a rapper in a band, and then he started singing and playing acoustic, and put out albums like that, and that's what broke him out. Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy. He's like he
I'm
made
gonna
it.
have to check these things out. You put this up on YouTube, right? Like it stays there.
Yeah, it stays there. And yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I'm gonna be I should be taking notes already, but I mean, thank you.
I'll
for
send
that.
you
I'll be
links
able
to both those artists and one of my cool collections that will give you an idea.
Yeah,
of
that'd be wonderful. That's one of the main things that excites me. You know, I mean, people can talk about their music all day, but to me, you know, I've talked to and collabed with thousands of people around the world, and I always try and take a little piece of everybody that I encounter from.
Yeah.
You know, you can always learn something, and it's a never-ending game. You know what I mean? And I'm just a student of it, and I'm just trying to learn. I take little pieces of everybody because, you know, someday I really do want to make like a song that can kind of touch people, because it's basically my diary out here. You know, like if some people listen to the shit that I say on the music, it's pretty deep and personal, and that's kind of like the shit that I like. You know, I'm into that, and
Oh yeah, I just
it
called
feels better.
I just called this artist Whitey Ford, and his name is actually Everlast.
Everlast.
Whitey Ford is his real name. So I was calling him
So
by
you're
his,
down like that.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I have ADD, so it's kind of hard for me to maintain like little information. But man, you're a music brain.
dude.
Talking about calling people by name.
I'm ADD
spitting
as
those
hell.
lyrics.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ADD. It's not even funny.
Do you do the thing at work? Do you do the thing at work since you're a guitar player where you'll just be like standing there or walking to do something, you just bust out the air guitar, like the drums?
No, because it's like a guitar in my head, but I do the air drums. I do the air drums.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I do the drums too. Like I'm a guitar player.
Whenever
Yeah.
my headphones are on, I can't help it. Or if I'm in the car, I'll be like playing on the steering wheel. I can't help it.
You're a fucking air drummer and a real guitar player. That's fucking crazy.
I'm a real
That's how I
drummer.
am.
I'm a real drummer.
Damn, so you're a drummer first? Is that what you're saying?
I played drums every single one of those live shows except for maybe 20 of them. So probably.
But if
over
like
100.
somebody was to ask you like, what do you play? Like, and I know you can play a lot of things. Like, what's
say
your
music.
go-to?
I say music.
You say music?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I play instruments. But if I could only have one instrument, I always say I would just keep the drums, because there's so much to learn, and it's also exercise, and you can just put on any you can just put on any tune, any song, and you can play with it. Every genre, all on one instrument. You don't need any different instruments. One real good drum kit, and you're good. And if you only
Yeah,
allow
I feel like that would be a great metal T-shirt. Honestly, a picture of like a drum set, and then just say "fuck yoga." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like that'd
Fuck
be a good
your
one. I should
gym.
write that one down. Fuck weights.
all my gym equipment, and then it has a picture of a drum set. Monthly membership fee, the price of sticks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That'd be a good T-shirt though, or a bumper sticker. Fuck yoga. Like I'd put that on my shit with a drum set on there, because you know what I'm talking about. Your calves get it, your arms get it. Shit, even leaning over kind of gets you if you do it for long enough. You know?
Now you go run around the neighborhood, you're gonna get shin splints. You go play the drums, you're gonna get high afterwards.
Yeah,
You're not
straight up.
gonna be suffering from injuries from the drums. You had to be really doing it all wrong. You know.
Yeah, or unless you're new at it. I mean, there's been a couple times since, you know, I don't play it much, but when I would go crazy on them.
Where you whack your finger
on your hands,
yeah,
maybe.
you get calluses.
That's about it.
A little bit of blisters. Maybe you
Maybe
whack
hit a symbol. I've done that.
Yeah, you whack something, you get a little bit of blood going, but it's not like you're not going like, shit, I can't go to work. I twisted my ankle. What? I was running around, I was playing basketball, or you know, on the weekend, just stay in shape, and I landed on somebody's foot, and look at this. Oh my God!
Yeah, dude, no, that happened actually. I have a story to tell you. When we were a metal band, and when we turned 18, actually when we were 16, my cousin used the lead guitarist. He ended up getting cancer, so it was just like, what the fuck? He had lymphoma, and it was like we didn't know if he was gonna make it. He made it, so he got a Make-A-Wish, and his wish was like, I want all new fucking band equipment. So he got this shit, and we were like, all right, we're all in on the band. Like, we're gonna go, and we played shows. We played at bars before we could drink. It was fun. And then one day, me and my fucking drummer, we ended up getting so high before we played this game of basketball. He went up to dunk this shit, and he's like fucking like 5'8". He's short and stocky, you feel me? But long story short, he ended up breaking his leg. Like, his bone came out, you feel me? And that's the drummer, dude. So it was just like, ever since that day, like him learning how to play the drums, he's got it, and I got the tracks to prove it. But ever since that kind of killed the metal dream,
Right.
Like, the lead guitarist had cancer, and the fucking drummer ended up like busting his shit. But I wanted to tell you that because if you were like solid with a couple of guys, and we were a 3-man band and we kicked ass, but you know what I mean, like shit like that to happen, you know what I mean?
I've had some really shitty shit happen. I've had bassists in my band get stabbed in the neck and die.
No, dude, stop. Really, though?
Oh, man, I've had some horrible shit. I had the lead singer that me and Tim were first working with that got us to work together, got hit by a car when he was 18. And that's kind of what made me and Tim decide to keep working together, because we had that guy in common. There's a guy, Rob Maples, that played second guitar in our band. He died 2 years ago of an overdose.
Oh my god!
It's like,
dude.
it's this, but this shit goes on. There's like 16 people that I've been close to that have died, and about half of them were bandmates. At one point, or were promoters. The promoter that got me almost all those shows, his name is Greg Gibson, passed away in a fire in 2017.
I'm sorry to bring this up on the live, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's all right.
Horrible, though,
I talk about it sometimes because it's therapeutic to talk about it.
No, but and then it's just kind of like, you pay homage. You still have like music that you've made with these people.
Yep. If I remember the riff that they wrote, it's mine now, and I'll make it even sicker sounding, and I'll record it, and I got no fears about it,
Yeah. No, that's fucking cool, dude. But at the same time, I'm sorry. Like, it's just, and I sometimes, like, excuse me if I'm speaking out of terms, but I sometimes I be feeling like the metal gods be, like, on that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Oh,
man. They always take the best.
And there's this one guy, though. Speaking of breaking a leg, there's this one guy, I played in a bunch of bands with him. A few different bands with him. He played in a few different bands, I should say. And I played in one band with him. He played drums in my band. And he broke an ankle mountain climbing and doing something along those lines. Broke an ankle. And he's never really fully got back into the drum kit. But the thing is, we've jammed with him since. Maybe like 6 years after his recovery, and with his leg back to what he seems is like the best it's going to ever be, right? He's got it as good as it can get. And we played with them, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you're getting too achy or something, but he's just as good as he always was. He feels like he's all out of practice, but he gets behind the kit, and his originality and his juices motivate me. And I wish we played in a band together, I know I don't know all the songs that make it so he can play a bunch of covers and enjoy his evening, but I feel like me and him jamming together. Bryce Colville, if you ever listen to this show, if you ever catch it, I know you're on my Facebook, and this goes my Facebook. Bryce Colville, I love playing music with you, and if you're ever down, we should jam together. That's been said. So, yeah, I'm sure he feels like, hey, man, I'm not what I used to be. But it's like, dude, I always felt like he still had it. So, sometimes.
Yeah, even my buddy, too, dude, even having the bone come out and, like, having, like, metal and screws in there, like, and it was, like, his ankle, so that's, like, right where the fucking pedals are. And it's just, like, he still gets on there, and he's still the double bass, dude. Like, I'm telling you, the rhythm is there. Like, he makes it happen. He might suffer for it, but, it's always there. It's like riding a bike or fucking chewing food. You know what I mean? Like, it's always there.
Yeah. Well, and I try to think on the positive side, is that there's certain people that I haven't lost. And if those guys got together, we'd still make a great band. So whatever, you know, what happens, happens. We can always, like you said, pay homage to them in the music. And, you know, there's certain guys that we still are alive. We're still kicking. I mean, we might have kids, you know. We might be balding or whatever it is, you know.
You make up for it on the chin, huh?
Yeah, dude. We got
go.
we got plenty of juices left, so we should make good time what we have left. So that's my thought on it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But just like recording, you can't make them want to do it, you know.
Yeah, that's for fucking sure.
And you know, on that note, I was thinking, you know, there's some guys I think to myself, like, you could be proficient enough at a computer and you're a great guitar player, you should be on here. And there's other guys that I played with that I think to myself, I will never ask that guy to try and come on here, because he was just like the guy that just played an instrument. He did not ever know anything about recording, and that would take him literally 10 years to get to the point where he could do that. That's totally not even in his realm. He would rather go drive his CDL truck and do that shit than he would. He gets home, he's gonna have beers and shots. He's not gonna fucking go try and figure out the fucking BandLab and how to record just to put his bass lines down. He's like, yeah, fuck that. If there was a band and they came to my garage so I could drink, then hell yeah. But otherwise, fuck it. I'm done with this shit. So
yeah, and you can't. It's hard to pull them people out of that atmosphere because you know they're so stuck in their ways. Yeah, that's just like my lead guitarist, and my drummer. I made them because, you know, they see me on BandLab and they're not really down for publishing shit, you know, but we do put shit on BandLab so we can share it together. And, you know, if I wanted to add to it, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Right. I brought it in as a tool for our band and it worked.
Right.
These boys are on here, and my cousin, I'm actually working right now to send you a track that I want you to play, because my cousin, he's so fucking good, but he's not on here. He doesn't care. He's not going to follow nobody. He's not going to publish nothing.
Right.
But he's on here, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
You gotta fucking hear the way he plays, because you'd probably like it. He's a little more meticulous than I am, but, you know.
My brother.
For fuck's sake, yeah.
My brother is a rapper. He's a better rapper than I am musician.
Damn,
what
really,
that means,
dude?
yes.
He's not on here?
He's on here, but he himself is not on here. I put his music on here. So I have a band, it's called New 11, right? It's one of my bands. That's actually my little brother and his co-writer Raylan Mack. Those two, they have a band called New 11, and then there's some other guys that come on, you know, in certain songs. It's him and another guy or whatever. But my brother, he's a better rapper than I am anything else that I play. Like my drums or my guitar or my bass, you can add them up and put them together and create a song, and it can sound good, right? But it's not complete. My brother can take a beat that sounds shitty and, without even looking at his lyrics, from memory, rap over it in a single take, and you're like, that could be famous. That's professional. That is better than anything I've done this whole year. Holy shit, what the fuck? And he won't come on here and promote his shit, because, you know, he does Christian rap, and he's really into his family. He's got 4 boys. He's super busy already. He doesn't even have time to even care to do this. He doesn't like social apps at all. You know, he's not into any of that. He's barely looking at his phone ever. So
right, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about, though. That you have a brother who raps, and that's you know what I mean? I know your music. I gotta hear this shit.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to that.
That's kind of crazy, man.
He's got 50 songs on here. Some of them have 100 likes. Because, you know, there's a whole bunch of rappers out there, and you put something in hip-hop that's good, people will go crazy. Some of them have 100 likes, some of them have even or more, and they have comments like crazy. And one thing I will say is that every once in a while he'll browse it, and he'll correct me on something I put, he recorded this and blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, actually I recorded it on this. And it'll be the only thing for 6 months that he ever even comments on there, right? Just correcting me or something. But he doesn't come on here and go, oh, thanks for saying this, thanks for saying that to all the people, you know? He just goes and looks and he goes, holy crap, people really respond to my music. And he did tell me earlier this year that he, it's been since 2015 or so since he's done it, that he's going to try and get the group back together for this summer. So that'll be cool.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm always...
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. That'd be tight.
Every rap beat I make it with the hopes that one day he'll rap on one of my beats, because he hasn't done it since 2005. He used to rap on my beats. That's when he got started. He got started rapping on my beats, and then he started using better commercial beats, better than mine, and has never gone back to mine. And my hope is that at some point my beat making will get up to a level where he can be like, okay, I'll rap on one of yours.
Yeah, no, that's the fucking dream. Is he an older brother or a younger brother?
2 years younger. 6 foot,
Okay.
6'3" compared to my 5'10". So standing next to each other,
What
he might look like the older brother.
Damn.
Yeah.
It always happens like that. That's all right though. No, that's pretty crazy to honestly hear, because that's something I would have never guessed. Like, it's got to be in the family. Do you have any other family members that like are into music and shit?
My parents both are very enthusiastic about music. My mom teaches jazzercise. She loves music. She listens to music in the car so loud that when you hear music coming down the street, mom's coming home. And she's like singing to it when we were always taking road trips. So we got a real hype mom. But check it out. When she was pregnant with me, 8 months pregnant with me, she went to Iron Maiden, Scorpions, and Girls School, a heavy metal concert. When she was 8.5 months pregnant with my brother, she went to Mariah Carey. Boom. You got 2 different kids. One that's into hip hop and R&B, and one that's into heavy metal. And
you want to know what's crazy? So you're saying that possibly it might have had an influence?
I feel it totally did. Epigenetic. It morphed my DNA in the womb.
Right. And what I would say to that, actually, my little experience with that. My mom told me that when I was born, because I was born in 1991.
Yeah.
Right. And when I was born, the fucking song that was playing when I was born was Enter Sandman, right?
Yes.
And that's my favorite band is Metallica. Like the riffs, the dirtiness of it. If you listen to my guitar playing, like it's gonna punch you in the face. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, she said that the first full song that actually played was Panama by Van Halen. Am I saying that correctly?
Panama.
But it's the solo, right?
Yeah.
As a guitar player, to me, the one piece of music that sticks to me is that fucking solo. You know what I'm saying? When he hits that shit?
It has like this backbeat going. Rest in peace, Eddie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going
So
crazy,
good.
but that was
So
the first full song that played, and that's like, to me, the best guitar. That's how I kind of mimic, trying to be intricate with it. Every little bend, every little...
I used to take a school bus home, and one of my best friends, his name is Corey Paisley, and who knows, maybe he's listening to the blog. Word up to you, Corey. But Corey Paisley, one time, I think it was like we were just getting into junior high, and my brother maybe it was like 6th grade for me, and my brother was in 4th grade. And he was another 6th grader with me, and we're walking home, and my brother was like really into, and who knows, it might have been like I was in 9th grade and he was in 7th or something, but whatever it was, we're walking home, and Corey Paisley says to my brother, he goes, just wait, you're a white guy, you might like rap right now, but someday you're gonna like rock. It's just gonna have to happen. It's gonna change. You can't keep being a wannabe forever, and someday you're gonna be a rocker, and just like your brother Chris. And I was playing bass then, so it had to be 9th. I was in 9th grade and he was in 7th, right? So they goes, you're gonna be a rocker just like your brother Chris, and he goes, nope, never will be. And he basically is only, and it comes to rock, only listens to Tom Petty, and then it's all rap, like Lecrae and other kinds of Christian rap bands, so no, he never got into it, he never did. But that was the prediction, and I knew when he said it how much I wanted it to happen, but that I knew it would never happen. My brother is it's ingrained in him. He likes a certain style. He has a certain way to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's embedded.
Yeah, you don't listen to every Too Short album on repeat for 2 years and then all of a sudden, and every No Limits album, and then all of a sudden go, okay, now I like Metallica. No, that's not how it happens.
Can't do it. Yeah, it's almost impossible.
Now, you can listen to Metallica and go and listen to a fucking Master P song and be like, make you go, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna buy 10 No Limit albums when you could go buy a different Metallica album or a Korn album or something like that. People have their different, personalities. They're gonna do what their personality pulls them towards, and for me, it's Creedence through Metallica. Anything that rocks, anything with a drum beat that's good, I love it.
But let me ask you though. Let me ask you the question though. Metallica or Megadeth?
Ooh, Metallica, just because it's 100% all there. But if I could, because I would always be able to do what I'm doing if I just had Metallica as an influence. I would at least sound like what I sound like now. But for me, it's really hard to pick between Pantera, Metallica, and Megadeth. I listen to all three, all parts, from beginning to end. Every song they make, I like them all.
That's a perfect three. That's a perfect circle right
Those
there.
Those are my three favorites. Yeah. And I love Anthrax a lot.
Sure.
I like Overkill guitar riffs and singing a lot. The bass sound on Overkill is amazing. But Metallica is just one of the greatest bands. They got the first 3 albums with Cliff Burton, which are like of a totally different style.
Bless his fucking soul, dude.
The jean jacket wearing motherfucker. And then you have the next 4 albums, you can call it, that I also love, which are with Jason Newsted. And he's got that heavy pick sound. You might not be able to hear him on And Justice for All, but the album is still awesome. And
it was a great album.
Yeah, and then you got the Black Album, and I love Load. I love that album. I love the singing. I love the freeness of writing. I love Saint Anger, even though that's
even though the trash can for the snare.
I love it. I love it. I love that. Some people hate that. They're like, the whole album sounds better without it. I'm like,
that's like the biggest cliche of that album.
I fucking love it.
I mean, that snare drum. But
in that time, I would tighten the shit out of my snare drum so much that the fucking the part that holds the head together would start tearing apart. I would get it so high. Now I would have snare sounds. I would get like the 20-strand wires and the 40-strand wires that have snare sounds. But I love that high-pitched snare sound that you hear on a lot of records of that time. I love that sound. That high, like Praise by Seven Dust had that. Just that really high snare. I love that. So it doesn't bug me. I could listen to that album forever. The riffs are so juicy, dude. They were still writing amazing riffs, so it was like, whatever, who cares? It's still got Metallica lyrics, Fred, tick, 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 tock.
What about their latest shit? Have you heard some of that? Do you like it at all?
The most recent stuff I have is that Death Magnetic, and what's the other album? The other one right after it. Shit. What's it called? Some kind of... What is it called?
I don't even know.
What is that? It's got the face with them. Their faces are all blended together. My wife bought that for me. I'm gonna look it up. What's the most recent Metallica album? I'll look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
I know they're working on right now something.
Oh shit! I fucking accidentally.
The most recent Metallica album is Spit Out the Bone.
Spit Out the Bone. I don't even think I've heard.
No, that's not right. That's the most recent. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. That album.
Yes, that's what.
That album is great. It's almost better than Death Magnetic. Now my buddy knows a bunch of Death Magnetic riffs, and he thinks that one's awesome. He loves it. Me and him.
What was that song? Tomorrow Never Comes, or
yes. But on that album, my wife got me a copy of that album that was like a 3-disc version of it, right? And it was like a live concert. It was the main disc and then a second disc. And let me try and see if I can find the track listing here. So deluxe edition. It has this song, "When a Blind Man Cries." It's a Deep Purple song, right?
Oh, no shit.
Oh my god, I love that. It's like it's totally sounds like a Metallica song the way they play it. And Metallica can make any song sound like theirs, right? But they have this song. It's like a 1970s song called "When a Blind Man Cries." I love that, and I love their Garage Incorporated album. So, how old are you?
I'm 29.
So you're 29. So I'm 9 years older than you. So when I was 17, CDs were really popular. There wasn't barely anything. Napster was just barely coming out. You couldn't get, when I was 17, 18, you couldn't get any song you wanted on YouTube because YouTube didn't exist yet. You couldn't get any song you wanted on even downloaded because only certain songs were found on Napster and the rare stuff wasn't there. So if I wanted the Garage Days Incorporated album, before there was Garage Inc., there was Garage Days Incorporated, which is in between when Cliff Burton dies and Justice for All album. They had Jason Newsted.
I don't even think I've heard that.
So they had Jason Newsted play covers with them, and they recorded it in a studio. And it was like, "Die, die, die, my darling." A couple Misfits songs. So what? So what? You know, a bunch of songs that.
I wonder if that's when they were singing that one song like, "Little boy, you're going to hell" or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I can never. That's like the lost Metallica song I've always wanted to find.
So they recorded this album just to try and get him acclimated to being in the band, to see how it would work, to see how it would fit. And they recorded this album. They put it out as an EP, and it had like 7 songs, and eventually ended up going as big as 12. And when it first came out, it was available for $4.95 on vinyl. And it was written on the cover that it was $4.95, so no one could overcharge for it. Then when Justice for All came out, they pulled it off the shelf, so it became a really collectible thing. And I went to the music store and got like 2, 3, 4 different versions made in like Europe, like illegally, of that album. And I spent like $30 because I'd already had all the Metallica albums, but I was waiting for Reload to come out. It was like 98 or something like that, 97, and I went and bought this album. Now they had put out an album called Garage Days Incorporated. Garage Incorporated. Have you ever heard that album or heard of it?
I have not. No.
Okay, so they have an album, a Metallica album called Garage Incorporated, and it came out. Let's see. I'm gonna click Metallica.
This is fucking wild.
So they have an album called Garage Incorporated. Came out after Reload and before S&M.
1998.
Do you know S&M by Metallica, where they play with an orchestra?
Yeah.
So it came out right between Reload and S&M in like 98, later that year. So in 98, I was buying all these Garage Days albums. Then all of a sudden I find out, boom, they're putting this album out. And one of the 2 discs is all the stuff they recorded back in the day in like the mid to late 80s with Jason Newsted fresh in the band. And the other disc is them recording a whole bunch of new covers right then in 98 with the Load sound. And then S&M came out after that, and they had like a new song or 2 new songs on it, right? But yeah, if you look it up, let me see here, Garage Incorporated, click on it. So disc 1 is Free Speech for the Dumb, which is a Discharge song. It's Electric by Diamond Head. Sabracadabra by Black Sabbath. Turn the Page, which got on the radio. Die, Die, My Darling by the Misfits. Lover Man.
Lover Man, yeah. Yep. So I'm looking at it right now, like, that's crazy as fuck. I never knew that.
I love that song.
How the fuck they put 27 songs on something?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like 2 full Metallica albums that I've like never heard in my
If you haven't heard it, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Oh
you're
my
gonna
God.
You're gonna put on one CD, one side of it, or you're gonna play the first half of it, and then you're gonna play the second half of it, and your brain is gonna go to war trying to figure out which half is better. The old stuff from in between the two albums that kind of has some of their old sound, meets like almost what they were doing for the sound on. It's like a blend. The blend of the sound on the second disc is like somewhere between Master of Puppets and Justice for All, but with really
that's fucking crazy.
with the loudest bass of any album. The bass is so loud because it was all about trying to get the bass to sound good, right? And then
Right, no, that's fucking wow.
And then there's also 2 songs on there that are from 1984, Am I Evil and Blitzkrieg, which were recorded actually for the first album, Kill 'Em All. So they have the Kill 'Em All sound.
No.
Yes, and it's the bass on those 2 songs is Cliff Burton. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm playing it right now on the computer. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm so glad this happened because this is what I'm taking away. You know what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna be listening to this shit.
Garage Incorporated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
now
God! Thank you.
There's also a totally weird album they did you might not know about. Now that I have to tell you. There's this artist in between Death Magnetic and the other one, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. There was an album in between there that's been pulled off the shelves.
Wow, that would actually be interesting because those 2 albums were actually pretty good.
And
like
it was,
maintaining like a modern sound with like a
they have
like
a different singer.
Metallica song.
They have a different. Yes. Yeah.
Was it actually James Hetfield playing then?
James Hetfield plays guitars and writes the songs.
Oh fuck!
It's got
Stop.
Yeah, and it's got.
Stop,
I
bro.
know.
That's something to think about because.
But it has a different
vocals are
singer.
Something else.
It has a different singer. It has a 70-something-year-old guy.
Shut the fuck up. 70 years old out here, just like, you know what? I'm taking a break from AC/DC. We out here, but damn, like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Lou Reed
70.
has a singer, Lou Reed, who has that song,
This
Wild
can't be true,
Thing.
though. I'm not even alive. I died yesterday.
You
This
make
is not
my
true.
heart sing. That guy who sings that song, Wild
No.
Thing, sings on a Metallica
That's who
album.
does it?
He does the singing on a whole Metallica album.
Fuck.
And it's totally crazy. It's like avant-garde. He's like, yeah, the things you do make me feel so crazy. Like over the top of a bunch of Metallica riffs. You're sitting there going, what the fuck?
How the fuck did that even happen?
People don't like it, but people who love Metallica still love it.
What's the album called?
Lulu. Lulu. Yeah, it's a mixed bag, but it's still worth listening to. You go,
Wow, you have
"What?"
to type it in on YouTube. Like YouTube isn't even like. Okay, yeah, we know what we know what you're talking about. So is it like with a mannequin on the cover for it?
Yep.
Oh my fucking
That
God.
mannequin is an actual piece of art that they bought to take a picture of it, to put it on the cover.
That sounds like something Lars would do.
Very Lars.
To be honest.
It's like if they let Lars take control of the creative direction of Metallica.
Yeah.
This is what you get.
That was his high horse for that moment in time.
Yep. Yeah, he was in
That's
that time.
fucking
Yep.
crazy.
So there's some crazy shit on that album. Yeah. Came out like
You gotta love it. You
Yeah.
gotta love it.
Came out like 2011 or something like that. And Lou Reed died a couple years later. So
Oh my God! So then it just had that much dexterity to it, where like you know what I mean, like you wouldn't guess it, but that's like a different, even for probably music that he made, like that's probably outside of his like
totally outside
you know
of
what I'm
his
saying,
purview.
comfort zone,
Yep.
and same thing for Metallica being the fucking crazy guys that they were. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
Respect to them though. That's why they're my favorite.
Yeah.
Shit, even my
Metallica.
favorite modern band was like a Metallica cover band. See, my second favorite band is Bullet for My Valentine. Well, they're like older shit or like, you know,
Right.
less modern shit, but yeah. fucking Metallica is definitely.
Dude, Metallica's awesome because they do harmonies, they have unconventional writing style, they have awesome bassists. People might not want to admit it, but the drummer is super creative and changed rock and roll forever.
Yeah, he has.
People want to knock on Lars, but he's such a bizarre guy that he's always trying to do something unique, and he did it so many times that, I mean, you could hear the drums from Metallica songs, and you would know exactly which songs they are, because every single one does something different.
I'm trying to think of the song that's popping in my head. Like when he hits the drums on that shit, I forget what it's called.
I think that's off of Injustice for All, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
no, maybe it's a Black. Yeah, maybe it is.
Oh, Black Album. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's almost like marching. Yeah.
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 I mean, and you know his snare game was on point. Like, you know, that snare, like the way he had it, like was just
crazy
nostalgic.
Placements of crash cymbals. You know,
it was like goofy, but he was with it. You know, and they were tight. You know what I mean? Like,
if you hear the drums to For Whom the Bell Tolls, you'd be like, I know what song it is. You could go through the whole. You totally could go through the whole catalog of Metallica without the music, without the singing, just the drums, and be like, each one of them is distinct. If you listen to AC/DC and you just had the drums, you'd be like, I can't tell what song it is.
Oh, fuck. That could be every other song that's ever been made.
It's just boosh, boosh, boosh.
But their guitar, you'll know their tone. I mean, they play one fucking note, and you'll be like, all right, fuck, I know what to expect here. But,
AC/DC could play 2 chords, and you'd be like, oh, that's this song. Oh, that's this song. You know, like instantly. So you think that it's the one instrument that you can't live without in each band that is the most important, and it's drums in Metallica. No matter what people say, they could have had a different singer, and they might not have made it. They might have made it. We don't know, but their shit would still be cool as long as they had Lars in the band.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I mean, had to be the way it was, but
it was fucking destiny the way that band happened.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think about it, like.
Yep. They had different set of guys. They traded in the last minute. They traded Kirk Hammett for Dave Mustaine, and no big deal because
that's fucking wild.
Because Dave Mustaine made it on his own. He was fine, and he might have had a bug up his butt about it. But dude, we were just talking about it a couple blogs ago. His shit's like jazz. You know what I mean?
Dude, my dad, bless his soul, I've never really seen him or been around him, but he was a really huge Metalhead and Megadeth fan. Like, that's his Iron Maiden and Megadeth are his like religion. And he's always told me, like, you know, Dave Mustaine is the Mozart of metal. He really is.
He is. Totally is.
The shit that he does, and it's so together and it's so precise that you know what I mean.
He had to be.
I wouldn't even say it's an acquired taste because he's had some bangers. You know what I mean?
He had to be in Metallica for the first few years to push James Hetfield to be a better writer, but he didn't have to be in Metallica to make Metallica cool. He could just go do his own thing.
God damn, I wonder what they would sound like. But you know, you've seen some of their videos, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like they had the Big Four like out there, and they played together and shit, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
You know, them guys put their shit behind them.
How cool would it be if they had him, come do if they did the whole Kill 'Em All album again? But the thing is, he can't do all those leads that Kirk Hammett did. They did that for a reason. He can't do all the stuff that's on the Black album. He does not. He's not that good of a lead player. But the thing is, that's cool about him is that he can write like that, and then he can have somebody else play it for him. Marty Friedman. He can have Marty Friedman play with him. He can have amazing guys play with him because his riff writing is so insane that it would take a guitar player like that to write to it.
Yes, it
someone
would.
on that level. Is this one of those for me? Is that 2 for you?
No, mine.
Okay, my daughter's in here now.
Mine's for me.
He's getting swarmed.
Mine is for me.
You having cookies?
Yeah.
What color are they?
1, 2.
They're pink.
No, pink.
Got to get their 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah. She never goes to bed. She takes till like 2 in the morning to go to bed.
Hey, living the best life.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. We did a solid hour and a half here, I believe.
Yes, sir, man. It was such a pleasure, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, dude.
And I appreciate the opportunity.
We didn't even get anywhere. We just got to chat again at some other time, I think. Keep going on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do it again. I have a feeling. So.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be in touch, especially with the collab. So
Cool. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that if you get the time.
Yep. And I'll send over 2 links to YouTube for those 2 artists and my brother's band, and we get to end on the metal note. Solely. The song
Yes,
Solely.
That's the best. That's my favorite one. That's a well put together metal track, I think.
Yeah.
Some of the progressions are out of order, but it's decent. It's a good one. That's wonderful. That's Destiny.
Nice.
My
Well,
favorite one.
you have a good night, dude. Nice talking to you, Domain.
Yes, sir. And you have a good night as well, sir. Thank you.
Too. Later. Boop. That was it, you guys. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Yeah, she can say hi. Just come say hi. Luella, come say hi. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Zoe.
Say you're awesome, Joey.
Awesome.
You like cookies? You got a mouthful? Love ya. Okay, everybody. Thanks for coming on the show. Hope you enjoyed that. We talked a lot about Metallica. We talked a bunch of cool stuff. Catch you all on the flip side. Took a bite of it? Or a whole cookie? Whole second cookie? You did. Wow, girly. If you walk around with a cookie just hanging out and swinging around, they're gonna get it. Go check out Domain.